Oh, back again! Welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike, he's Jay, and I said goddamn!
Goddamn!
Goddamn, the box office numbers is bad.
Are they bad?
So, some Ghostbusters news. I know everyone wants to talk about
That's
it.
something new.
God damn it. We didn't see the movie. I'm sure it was wonderful.
Oh, you didn't?
I'm sure.
I didn't either.
I'm sure it was wonderful.
It was great. Sure. I mean, how can you not believe Rotten Tomatoes?
I know everyone's saying, you didn't even see the fucking movie. I didn't have to see the movie, and I'm just going to say this, to know for a fact that it's a Melissa McCarthy, Paul Feig film using Ghostbusters as a story point. Yeah. So I know I don't like Melissa McCarthy. I don't think she's funny. I don't like Paul Feig's movies necessarily, and
I'd rather not go to a movie and be preached at about socio-political fucking, situations through the fucking film. I'm sorry, I'm not like that. And you know what? And at least if you're gonna do that, do it subtly, do it cleverly. Like Mad Max Fury Road, supposedly all about this, whatever. I didn't actually get that because it was made so well. I love that movie. But
the point of that movie was that was a feminist movie because they put Charlize Theron as the lead.
She was
made her a kick-ass badass, and that was awesome. By the way, Harley Quinn was fucking awesome.
She was fucking sexy.
Anyways,
too. And badass, and like Sigourney Weaver.
Confronted by tepid box office for the reboot, the studio will instead focus on animated spin-offs. This comes from The Hollywood Reporter. And the reason I wanted to do this story is not to be like, haha, I told you so. No, I'm above I'm above what all these critics and people did when the movie came out, saying, oh, suck it, fanboys. Like being a fanboy and loving something is that bad of a thing? Sure, the fanboys who were, attacking Leslie Jones on Twitter and being racist dicks, those aren't fucking fanboys. Those are people using this as a reason to spew hate. Fuck those people. Fanboys are people who love an entity or a franchise.
Here's the thing, Mike's above saying, haha, I'm not. I'm down here in the dirt with you, you fucking bitch, so fuck you. Fuck you, critics.
The media for movies is becoming the fucking political news stations. It's becoming Fox News and MSNBC. It doesn't matter about the movie. All that matters is what side you're on. With the Ghostbusters thing, people coming out acting like this movie is the greatest fucking thing since sliced bread. Even if it's a good movie, I haven't seen it. Even if it's a good movie, it's not as good as some people have been saying, okay? No, it's better than the original. Suck my dick, Greg! It is fucking not, no matter what.
I thought it was gonna be Tommy.
But yeah, no, and all these news stories like, ha, I told you so. Ghostbusters crushes the box office. No. $45 million opening weekend. The next thing you know, Suicide Squad comes out, right?
Yeah.
And then everybody's saying, oh, this movie fucking sucks. The critics, everybody hates it. It's okay to hate that movie because you're not sexist if you hate DC. But everybody's coming out, and you know what the reports are? Oh, it fucking broke box office numbers. It beat Guardians of the Galaxy's record, $135 million. Well, you know what the reports are? Steep drop-off decline because the critics and fans don't like the movie. And it didn't. It broke fucking records. But Ghostbusters makes $45 million. Suicide Squad tripled that.
Yeah.
And if you read the news stories, you'd think they switched them around. It's total fucking hypocrisy and bullshit.
It's all about misleading articles and titles of like whatever they put out on the internet. And the fact of the matter is, when that movie, when Suicide Squad came out and it shattered fucking records, and it was doing well, and 45% of the audience, I think 45 to almost somewhere, or maybe even 50%, were women that were going to see this film that everybody was saying it glorifies gun violence and sexism against women because Margot Robbie looks hot in the skimpy uniform beating ass with a fucking baseball bat, which is great. They said it's all this and that, and yet, for some fucking reason, women were flocking to see this film, and there's a lot, I'm sure, a huge demand on Harley Quinn costumes for Halloween. And by the way, as soon as that movie did make the money, when Mike says that, some snarky asshole wrote the article, was like, well, probably sipping fucking Earl Grey. I wonder what the decrease on next weekend is going to be. I wonder if it's going to beat Batman vs Superman.
You guys were fucking wrong.
Yeah.
You were wrong. Admit it. And if you're a fan, you didn't like Suicide Squad, cool. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we liked it. I thought it had some shitty points, and I still had blast at the theater. The point is that tell the story like the story is. Ghostbusters made $45 million, and they spun it, and they said, best opening comedy since whatever. It's fucking kicking ass. Suck it, haters. Nope. And then it dropped off. No, there was no reports about that. There's no reports about anything. It lost fucking money, and nobody's talking about that. Suicide Squad breaks fucking records. The biggest fucking August opening of all time.
And were they not? Did they not already announce the sequel?
The news is, what should DC do to fix their problem?
Nothing.
And then the next news is, oh, steep decline the next day. Man, you guys. Be the fucking news.
How is it that two assholes from Kentucky like us can read like literally numbers and facts and give you that? I mean, yeah, we're opinionated, but we can get, like, if Suicide Squad did less money than Ghostbusters, I would say, Yeah, Suicide Squad, I liked it better because I hadn't seen Ghostbusters, but it's still, I wanted to like, and it was great, but it made less money, and maybe they have a point. Maybe Ghostbusters is better and people wanted it more. But that's not the truth. It's not the truth. And the fact is, I can look at numbers, 2 different numbers, and say, this is the news, that's the news. How is that fucking hard to do? Like, everybody wants, they all have an agenda. And
numbers are numbers, yeah. Agenda, and you shouldn't. These are movies. This should be fun. And that's what I hated about this from the point. If they'd have just made a new Ghostbusters movie, it would have been fun. It'd be like, oh my god, we're getting another Ghostbusters movie. Right. This is going to be crazy. But now that they did it the way they did it, with an agenda to push, it made it political and sucky, and it's full of hate, and everybody's arguing, and it sucks. It's not fun at all. Nope. That's exactly what we didn't want. It's not women that we didn't want. It's Paul Feig and his crusade that we didn't want.
Even if fucking Janine was one of the Ghostbusters, I would never would have thought second or twice about it. Like, cool, or she's in it. Like, that's awesome. But yeah, you're right.
I'm tired of saying I'm not sexist. Fuck you, call me sexist. Yeah, you know what? I don't care about that fucking movie.
I'm not gonna go into a movie and fucking have somebody preach at me through a fucking film and say, you gotta feel like this,
Let's
motherfucker.
shoot the ghost in the dick.
Yeah, like that's great. Let's
make an all-male Ghostbusters and then have them cunt punt the bad villain.
Cunt punt and booby punch them right away, and then suck on that tit.
Let's read the fucking story.
You just have all our Ghostbusters wearing wife beaters and just slapping the shit out of ghosts.
With spaghetti stains on.
That just fucking look like Tony Soprano running around.
Okay, so anyways, the story, immediately, I'm going to read it to you straight. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. Immediately upon opening of Ghostbusters mid-July, top Sony executives boldly declared a sequel to Paul Feig's all-female reboot of Ivan Reitman's 1984 classic was a given.
You made a mistake.
You guys said that. They're like, oh, it's in-list. Suck it. Yeah, oh, fuck. I remember how proud and pompous they were. While nothing has been officially announced yet, there's no doubt in my mind it will happen, said Roy Brewer, president of the worldwide distribution at Sony. So many people are like, this guy can't even fucking read!
Roy, dumbass.
Sorry, I'm tired. That was the studio's...
I didn't say you.
That was the studio's last public mention of a sequel. As of August 7th, Ghostbusters had earned just under $180 million at the global box office. Global, including $117 million domestic, beaten the first weekend by Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it's gross.
This film still hasn't opened in a few markets, including France, Japan, and Mexico. But box office experts say we'll have trouble getting to $225, despite a hefty net production budget of $144 plus a big marketing spend.
Yeah, how much was the marketing?
The studio has openly said break even would be $300 million.
They're fucked. They're not going to do that. They're not even going to get to 225. If they get to 225, okay, maybe.
It's a $70 million plus loss.
Yeah, they're not going to.
Sony hardly is alone in suffering from audience rejection of sequels this summer, but film chief Tom Rothman and his team, along with partner Village Roadshow, had high hopes for launching a live-action Ghostbusters universe. Now they are preparing for steep losses, $70 million plus, and an uncertain future for the franchise. Sony won't comment on whether it has banished a sequel to the Netherworld, but perhaps tellingly, a rep says the studio actively is pursuing an animated Ghostbusters feature that could hit theaters in 2019 and an animated TV series, Ghostbusters Ecto-Force, which is eyeing an early 2018 bout. Both are being guided by Reitman, who is firmly back in charge of the Ghostbusters empire via Ghost Corps.
Love you, Reitman.
I mean, there's a whole lot. Feig hasn't said whether or not he'll return.
Fuck Feig.
Melissa McCarthy, all the...
You know what? Feig could direct a fucking paper plastic bag going down the street. That could be his next film. Fuck him. And you fucking polluted it. You corrupted it. You made it dumb. You made this movie, this symbol, this thing that everybody had a good time with 30 years ago. You made it something that's divisive and somebody has to fight over now. How the fuck is that possible? Like, everybody used to, like, maybe everybody wasn't a fan of the original Ghostbusters, but it was hard to find one. But when you mention Ghostbusters back in the day, or even now, they'd be like, good memories. They start smiling, laughing about their favorite scenes. Now when you mention Ghostbusters, they're like, which one are you talking about, 84 or the 16?
It's vitriol and political hate and all this stuff like that. And here's the thing. Let me play devil's advocate on this for a second. I haven't seen the movie, so let me say that, and it's possible. It's possible as a standalone movie, if you have no feelings about it, it's certainly possible that this movie was a 6 or a 7. It was a decent movie. It had some laughs in it, or whatever. Certainly possible. That's what a lot.
And monkeys fly on my butt.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there was the feminist people and the people who went in with an agenda that came out like, yeah, it's fucking awesome, suck my ass. But then there was also fans who weren't upset about it or who just went to see it and they came out liking it, and I have to respect their opinion. So I'm gonna say this movie. I'm gonna play devil's advocate and say it's a 6.5. It was a pretty funny movie, not perfect, not classic by any means. I'll go there with you. I'll say I'm not even mad at Ghostbusters anymore because the fact of the matter is the movie lost. What sucks is that you came out with your gloves up so hard. You came out swinging like, oh, we fucking told you guys. We told you guys. All this shit. Everybody who doesn't like it's a fanboy hater. And you guys are doing the equivalent of what you're blaming everybody else for doing. Because what you're doing is you're saying, we want fair rights. We want to be looked at as people with an opinion or with talent, not just women. But so what do? You go and you look at everybody and says, oh, you didn't want this movie to be made because you like the first original Ghostbusters? You're a fucking geek, you're a loser, you're an angry fanboy in his basement, you hate women, all this shit like that. You're lumping people into a category that they didn't ask to be in unfairly. You're doing the exact thing that you're asking people not to do to women, and it's a fucking joke.
Well, there was I don't remember her name, I wish I could give her a shout out, I don't know who she is. She's a reviewer on YouTube, and she's a chick, and she went and seen this movie, and she was saying that she fucking hated it. She thought it was despicable. She said she barely laughed, that was just unfunny, it was just a bunch of visual stuff that was on screen, and nothing about it was original. It was literally trying to be a remake of the original movie of the '84 Ghostbusters, and it fell flat. There was nothing about it that was good. She's like, I feel sorry for guys that are reviewing this movie or talking about it, because as soon as they say they don't like it, or whatever, they have to, they're misogynists. If you really didn't like this movie and you're a dude, you're absolutely misogynist. You absolutely hate fucking women. You want to see them put down with your fucking boot heel on their neck saying, you will never leave, and just show me them titties. That's what she said, that unless those other dudes that are trying to be fair, quote unquote, and they have to walk this line, and they're trying to be so careful about not to insult a woman or insult the film.
We've lost fans over our take on Ghostbusters.
Bye. I don't want to see you go, but send us a card.
I hate to see any fans leave, but if you're
going
to leave over that,
Fuckville,
you're going to leave sometime anyway. Because
but, I mean, I don't want to lose subscribers over it at all, but I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, people just get so butthurt about it. Look, Sony learned a valuable lesson, and I think that lesson was, don't make a movie where you have a huge fan base like Ghostbusters and then butt-fuck your fucking fan base and just piss on them and say, oh, we're going to give it to a director who doesn't give a shit about the fan base, about the source material, about the creativity and the originality of the original film, or the classicness of that original film, or the fans that have followed it for 30 years, and just say, fuck everybody else, I'm going to do my own thing.
And you know,
have respect, put some respect on it.
And I don't even hate the girls who did it. I never had any bit of hatred for these girls, for these women, for wanting to do Ghostbusters. Who the fuck wouldn't want to be a Ghostbuster? I'm a terrible fucking actor, and if they ask me to be in Ghostbusters, fuck the world, I'm gonna be in that shit.
I'd sell everything.
You can't blame them for it,
yeah.
But what they did do wrong, Melissa McCarthy specifically said, well, I mean, they're just a bunch of angry kids in their mom's basement typing on computers. You lumped all these people into that category, and you're doing the exact same thing that you're asking people not to do about you. Maybe some people genuinely have maybe they have some sort of tie in their history. They watched it with their late father, or something like that. Maybe that property actually matters to them. That's possible. You work in the movie industry. Is it crazy for you guys to understand the fact that people can actually love something without being a nerd? And it's okay to be a fucking nerd, but you're turning nerds into misogynists. It's a joke.
I hate when they fucking say that too. Like, don't say you ruined your childhood. What kind of fucking loser shit?
I mean, I am tired of hearing that.
I get that too, but here's my point is, maybe when they say it ruined my childhood, like when you mentioned, it's their late father. Maybe they were going through a bad time and that movie helped them. Maybe their childhood, maybe they had a shitty childhood. Maybe they were abused. Maybe something else was going on at the home that we don't fucking know about. And that movie or types of movie like that helped them. Maybe it got them through tough times. And then when you say, don't say it ruined my, maybe there's a lot more going on with that than while they say it. Like, it's just not them being fanboys. They're saying it for a fucking reason. So that's insulting to your own fucking fans.
When, on the other hand of the coin, if you just had not made it an agenda socialist movement of a movie, and you just did a movie where a few of the characters were really strong, empowered, funny women, this movie could create a joy like that too. It could have created joy like the original one. But no, you wanted to be 2016, and you wanted to be fucking edgy, and you wanted to have a political stance, and you wanted to let that seep into everything in our fucking lives, leave it out of the fucking movies.
I don't want
and now you've maybe learned your fucking lesson. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, one more thing.
Other than
one more thing. Oh.
Media, tell it like it fucking is. Just fucking report the goddamn news. If your critic at soandso.com hated fucking Suicide Squad, so what? Suck a dick, Chancho.
Suicide Squad, they're already talking about the feminist thing about, well, they're celebrating gun violence and violence against women. I'm like, what the fuck do you want them to do? Like, do you want to make a Care Bears? Like, let's make Care Bears. Let's like all have stars and like Lucky Charms on our fucking chest and run around and have like ejaculate rainbows. And then even then it's gonna be like, they shouldn't have showed that because they showed every color in the rainbow, but they didn't show this color and they're racist.
Just if you want to say this, say this. Say, we fucking hate a Suicide Squad. It's a hot bag of shitty garbage, but you guys love it and it's crushing the box office. Don't spit it and go, oh, Suicide Squad broke like fucking every August record ever, but it's probably gonna suck later, so we were right. Grow the fuck up.
I know.
God, why don't you start a YouTube channel instead of a media outlet? Because you're fucking well suited for it.
Don't say grow the fuck up, because we're not that grown.
We're a YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not promising that, you know, all of our news is fucking...
But at least we will say this. We have always given the facts, guys, and everything that we've ever said, you can Google it and see it for yourself. It's not like we're making this shit up as we go, as I think a lot of those journalists do.
every fucking article. This is how they should have fixed Suicide Squad. This is what was wrong with Suicide Squad. 12 things that were wrong with Suicide Squad. What's wrong with DC? How to write the DC ship. If you look at all three of those fucking movies, they have positive audience scores, people. Like, these news outlets can't stop talking about it, but they apparently hate it so fucking much.
I think that DC is being treated unfairly. I go to Rotten Tomatoes. If I even look at Rotten Tomatoes for a review or an aggregate score or whatever, I never look at the critic score. I always see what the audience says. So if you got that spilled popcorn, I'm like, and if it's got like more, the fresh, I'm like, ah. I'm like, ah. But the thing about Rotten Tomatoes is, as I understand that Rotten Tomatoes, we all kind of got, Mike and I kind of got attacked a little bit for that in the comments. Somebody's like, well, it's an aggregate score. We know it is. Okay, we know it's not Rotten Tomatoes making this, but they do choose who they are allowed to feature on Rotten Tomatoes.
And they don't include the audience scores in their main scores, and they don't register on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, if someone gives a movie a 65%, that just goes into the positive category. If somebody gives a movie a 49 or a 50 and they say it was middle of the road, it was 5.0, it was okay, not my thing, that shows as rotten. They don't take into account what score they gave it. They just get rotten or fresh. And you know what? Movies aren't that black and white. Movies have special nuances to them. That's why critics existed before. Now they just give this blank score that anybody can fucking give. I know the critics don't do that, but that's the way it gets pooped out inside of Rotten Tomatoes. And while I like looking at Rotten Tomatoes, I think it's a fun tool. It's maybe not, it shouldn't have as much power over people as it does.
It's like a dildo or something, like with like spikes on the end.
It's like a cat cock.
Yeah, it's something weird. Or it's like one of those like pussy, what are those, pocket pussies?
Pussalaya?
No, pocket pussies. Like a pocket vaginas, and it's got like deep, like dark, like spikes in it. You're like, I'll put my dick in it because I'm horny, but it's gonna hurt. That's a terrible analogy. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying, like, we're not blaming the company of Rotten Tomatoes necessarily. We're just blaming their practices. They should reformat it.
And it's not necessarily the site's fault that people are looking at it like this, Greek Pussalaya god. But
that's got a lot. That's a big pussy.
It's not the website's fault, but now that everyone's looking at it the way they are, and it's like the above all thing when it comes to a movie, they should start to account for audience scores as well.
By the way, I did read this one thing on IMDb, and just so you SJW motherfuckers know this, social justice warriors, you know what I'm talking about. But
I thought you meant St. John's Works.
That's nasty too. That's kind of the same thing. But this SJW guy was like, well, wait till the word of mouth gets around by Suicide Squad. People fucking hated it, and people's gonna. I'm like, what word of mouth are you talking about? Like, who have you been listening to? Literally, everybody that's coming out of the theater, they might say, oh, he won the greatest movie in the world, but I had a lot of fun. Go see it. Sure.
I mean, 73% fresh audience score.
Yeah,
that's
so I don't know where even, like,
you're not wrong if you hated it and thought it was a piece of shit. I'm just saying that overall,
guy,
let's call it like it is. People like it.
Where you've been spending your nights? Because it's not in fucking like obvious like good places.
Comment down below. Comment down below. Let us know what your thoughts are. We love your fucking faces. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn wham up in you.
Yeah, right off camera.